great honor and pleasure to get to be here. You've heard about possible negative things when you've spoken of cybersecurity earlier today. So I want to inject some more optimism in this also. You notice that this book is not called Doom and Gloom 3.0. I think it's important to remember also all the wonderful upsides that technology can bring if we do it right. And then the second theme here is I think that even though I spent the last week in California at the NIPS conference, which on technical AI, which has 8,000 people now, it keeps doubling basically every year. I think it's very important to broaden this conversation beyond nerds like myself, because the questions of how we use this beneficially for the future is a conversation everybody has to contribute in, and it's particularly important with people who really have knowledge in policy making. So let's start on an optimistic note with this example of technology.
20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
So raise your hand if you actually saw this live when the moon mission went off. Awesome. Yes. So this is an example.
Shows are right. And the guy was from Boston. You notice his accent?
Perfect. And of course, the guy who had the bold vision to make it happen, JFK, also has great Boston connections. So this was not only a successful mission, but also inspiring, because it shows that when we humans use technology wisely, we can accomplish things that our ancestors could only dream of. But as my Estonian friend Jan Tallinn likes to point out, rocketry is also a great metaphor for how we use all of technology, because it's not enough to simply make the technology powerful. You also have to figure out how to steer it, and you have to figure out where you want to go. They didn't first launch this and then like, wait, how do we steer this? Now they have these great engines. So where should we go? Maybe to Mars? And so in this spirit, I want to talk just for a little bit about another journey powered by something much more powerful than rocket engines, where the passengers aren't just 3 astronauts, but all of humanity. So let's talk about our collective journey into the future with artificial intelligence, the most powerful technology that we will ever have seen. In the grand scheme of things, if we take a step back, technology is incredibly empowering, because we're still stuck on an imperceptibly small little speck here in a seemingly lifeless and dead universe. Yet technology offers us an opportunity for life to flourish, not just for the next election cycle on our little planet, but for billions of years. And there's no shortage of resources either that we have to get stuck quibbling with. So let's, in the spirit of Jan Tallinn, talk first about the growing power of AI, and then a bit about steering it, and then a bit about where we want to go with it. So as you all know, the power of AI is improving dramatically. It's an honor to have one of the early AI pioneers, Patrick Winston, here in the room, and he can be the first to tell you that whereas past accomplishments, like when we got dethroned in chess over 20 years ago by IBM Deep Blue, here the intelligence of the machine was largely programmed in by humans who knew how to play chess, and it beat him simply because it could think faster and remember more. But in contrast, when AlphaGo and the new AlphaZero that was just announced a few days ago has dethroned us in Go, it actually took 3,000 years of human Go games, millions of them, and Go books and poems and wisdom, and threw it all in the trash and just learned everything from scratch in one day and was able to blow away everything. The same software now also beats the world's best, not just the world's best chess players, but also all the world's best computer chess programs. So AlphaZero in chess now has actually shown it's not the big deal there isn't that it can blow away human game players, but that it can blow away human AI researchers who spent over 30 years making all this chess software. And in just 4 hours, it got better than all of them and played against Stockfish, the world's best chess program, played 100 games, didn't lose a single one, and even discovered some pretty profound things like, raise your hand if you play chess. So Sicilian opening, forget about it. Turns out it's no good. The English defense, that's actually the one it uses the most. So that's just one example, and to get a little flavor for simple reinforcement learning at work, you can just look at a computer learning to play a computer game. You see it sucks badly here and misses the ball almost all the time because it doesn't know what a ball is, or a paddle is, or a game is. But just by a very, very simple reinforcement learning algorithm, loosely inspired by our brain, gradually gets better. And pretty soon gets to the point where it won't miss the balls, it's better than I am. And then if you just keep training it, and this is now such a simple thing, I can train it up in my lab at MIT on a GPU very quickly. It discovers something which the people at Google DeepMind who made this didn't know about, which is that if you raise your hand if you actually played this particular game ever. So yeah, that you can drill a little hole at the side of the screen and just start raking up the points, and then it, after discovering this, of course, exploits this again and again and again and again. And it's not just computer games. There's been a lot of progress now at taking robots and or simulated robots and seeing, for example, if they can learn to walk from scratch. They can, even if you don't ever show them any videos of what walking looks like and have no human intervention. You just make it into a game again where they get a point basically every time they move 1 centimeter to the right. It works for bipedal life forms, quadrupeds, all sorts of things. And so this kind of rapid progress obviously begs the question, how far is this progress going to continue? I like to think about it in terms of this landscape of different tasks where the elevation represents how difficult it is for machines to do them, and the sea level represents how good machines are at doing them today. So chess, arithmetic, and so on have, of course, long been submerged. This sea level is rising, so we have a kind of global warming going on in this abstract task space. And the obvious question is, what's going to happen eventually? In the short term, obviously, we should not advise our near and dear to take jobs right on the waterfront because they're going to be the first to be automated away. But will eventually everything get flooded, or will AI ultimately fail to live up to its original ambition to do everything? This is a controversy where you have top AI researchers on both sides of it, but most people and most AI researchers in recent polls think that AI is going to succeed. Maybe in a few decades, opinions are very divided. That as long as there's a possibility, it's very valuable to talk in the broader society about, well, what does that mean? And how can we make sure this becomes the best thing ever rather than the worst thing ever? Which brings us to the second part of Jan Thalén's metaphor. How do we steer this technology in a good direction? How can we control it? So in addition to my day job working with Patrick and others at MIT, I founded this little nonprofit, the Future of Life Institute. This is my Estonian co-founder, Jan Tallinn, and we're very fortunate to have a lot of great people. And our goal our mission has the word steer in it here. We're optimistic that we can create an exciting future, an inspiring future with technology, as long as we figure out not just the steering part. So specifically, I'm optimistic that we can create an inspiring future with tech as long as we win this race between the growing power of the technology and the growing wisdom with which we manage it. And here, I think, is a really big challenge for policymaking and for society as a whole, because to win this wisdom race, I feel we need a strategy change. In the past, we always stayed ahead in the wisdom race by learning from mistakes. We invent